Benjamin Franklin once offered this prayer. He prayed, "Grant that not only the love of liberty, but a thorough knowledge of human rights may pervade all nations of the earth, so that a philosopher may set his foot anywhere on its surface and say, 'This is my country.'" Surely we can all join that sentiment. At the College of Charleston, a place we proudly proclaim is the University of the world. Now, whether other prayers recently offered or answered remains to be seen, but that will lend a certain uncertainty, at least, to our ceremony today, maybe a little suspense. I call now upon Ms. Tara Killian, a wonderfully talented student of the College of Charleston and a graduate today, to lead us in the national anthem. Tara?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Tara. Please be seated. I will now be joined on the stage by the following people. Members of the College of Charleston family, Mr. Joel Smith, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. James Edwards, our most distinguished alumnus and President of the Medical University of South Carolina. I ask Trustees Creighton McMaster and Charlotte Berry to escort to the podium the Honorable Howard H. Baker, Jr. I present Howard H. Baker, Jr., distinguished lawyer, successful businessman, talented photographer, former United States Senator from the state of Tennessee. Senator Baker was born on November the 15th, 1925 in Huntsville, Tennessee, to parents who both served in the U.S. House of Representatives. He completed undergraduate studies at the University of the South and Tulane University. While an undergraduate, he was a member of Pi Kappa Phi fraternity. As everybody knows, Pi Kappa Phi was founded at the College of Charleston. He received his law degree from the University of Tennessee. During World War II, he served in the United States Navy. In 1949, he joined his father in the practice of law, founded by his grandfather in 1888. In 1966, Senator Baker became the first Republican ever popularly elected to the United States Senate from Tennessee, and he won re-election by wide margins in 1972 and in 1978. He first received overwhelming national recognition in 1973 is the Vice Chairman of the Senate Watergate Committee. He was a keynote speaker at the Republican National Convention in 1976. He was a candidate for the Republican presidential nomination in 1980. He concluded his Senate career by serving 2 terms as Minority Leader from 1977 to 1981 and 2 terms as Majority Leader from 1981 to 1985. From February 1987 until July of 1988, he served as President Reagan's Chief of Staff. A leader in international affairs, Senator Baker was a delegate to the United Nations in 1976 and served on the President's Foreign Intelligence Board from 1985 to 1987 and from 1988 till 1990. He is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and the Washington Institute of Foreign Affairs. He serves on the boards of the Forum of International Policy, the American-Russian Cultural Cooperation Foundation, and he is an international counselor for the Center for Strategic and International Studies. In recognition of his service and talent, Senator Baker has received many awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian award, and the Jefferson Award for the greatest public service performed by an elected or appointed official. A noted photographer, Senator Baker has received the American Society of Photographers International Award and was inducted into the Photo Marketing Association's Hall of Fame. A respected and successful businessman, Senator Baker currently serves on the boards of United Technologies and Pennzoil. He is a member of the Smithsonian Board of Regents. He sits on the International Advisory Board of the Barrick Gold Corporation. He's chairman of the board of New Star Incorporated and of Cherokee Aviation. Senator Baker has published 3 books: No Margin for Error in 1980, Howard Baker's Washington in 1982, and Big South Fork Country in 1993. It is indeed an honor, an uncommon honor, to present you a person of uncommon qualities and abilities, Senator Howard H. Baker, Jr.
Howard H. Baker, Jr., because of the integrity with which you have served your country in the United States Senate. You have been an inspiring example of dedicated and selfless public service. In grateful recognition of your outstanding leadership, the College of Charleston is honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Don't forget.
Around my neck. And now, by the authority of the state of South Carolina granted to the Board of Trustees and committed to me, I declare that Howard H. Baker, Jr. is now admitted to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters of the College of Charleston. Now, you have heard the formal presentation of Howard Baker. I thought perhaps I should say a little more, even with the impending weather. At colleges and universities all across America and all around the world, commencement ceremonies are taking place this weekend, and commencement speeches are being made and have been made. More than 3,000 such speeches this weekend alone. Isn't that amazing? I can say without exaggeration and without fear of contradiction that no college or university anywhere has a more distinguished speaker this year than the College of Charleston. History has recorded and will continue to record that the unparalleled leadership Howard Baker has provided, the raw courage he has exhibited, the special insight he gave into the very nature of the Republic, especially during the period of Watergate when the nature of America was in question. All of those things have been critical to the future of every man and woman alive today. Our graduates have the brightest of futures, due in no small measure to Howard Baker. Yet his task in addressing them this afternoon is not without some difficulty. I'm sure he realizes that hardly a single one of them was alive when Watergate took place. They have no idea why every modern scandal is called some kind of a gate. Perhaps they recall that he was Ronald Reagan's chief of staff, but can any of us believe that the freshman class entering the College of Charleston in the fall will have no independent recollection of Ronald Reagan's presidency? They were 8 years old when that presidency ended. So many of our graduates may not remember these things about our speaker. Nonetheless, I'm sure we all know something important about him because we can sense it by his presence. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you can't sense it, I will tell you what it is. We are in the presence of greatness. It's my honor to present Senator Howard H. Baker, Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. May I first address the graduating class and extend to you my hearty congratulations on a job well done. And now, my friends, it is difficult for me to turn my back on this group, but I understand it is the requirement of this ceremony. I must say, President Sanders, that it is unique. I've never before trusted myself to make a speech with the audience behind my back. But I'll do my very best. I appreciate, Judge Sanders, the extraordinarily generous and thorough introduction. I have been an extremely fortunate man in my life, and I am grateful to many, beginning with my family, for the people of Tennessee who gave me the opportunity to speak for them on the floor of the United States Senate, to the institutions from which I graduated, and I may say parenthetically to my friends in this graduating class that not only do I have no clear recollection of what was said during any commencement speech, but I honestly don't remember the first one. I will not detain you very long, having that well fixed in my mind. It is a special pleasure to be here in this place, to stand on this platform, at this podium, at this school, in this city, which is so steeped in honor and tradition, and achievement and accomplishment, and controversy. You are the legatees of one of the great stories of American history. This city, this school have survived good times and bad. You have taught your young men and women in order to prepare them for a great future. You have seen them go forward to positions of leadership. As Judge Sanders mentioned, I am mindful of the fact that no one will remember, none of this graduating class perhaps, but not many will soon remember any of my career in the Senate, whether Watergate or service for President Reagan or the like. And it brings to mind in a jolting way the fact that I was also once a young man, but I've now recovered. And with good luck to my friends behind my back, you will recover also. But the other day I was speaking to an old friend of mine, somewhat further advanced in her chronological age than I, and I told her I was going to speak at the College of Charleston. And she knew of the College of Charleston and your illustrious history, going back so far, and she said, "Oh my, that school's older than I am." And I thought for a while that she was talking about her own age and chronological age. I mentioned that she wasn't really old, and she said, "Well, you know, I face up to the realities of our time, and I adjust to the idea that the body grows old and perhaps the mind as well. But we could prepare for that. But she went on to say, I just never expected to be doing my growing old in a world that's grown so new. And I think about her today as I look at all of you, because this class, you are what's new. Because you've been preparing for a world that she doesn't recognize. The doctors, lawyers, and scientists you will become are not like any she has known in her lifetime. The medicine you will practice will provide a kind of American health care that is unprecedented in the annals of civilization. The area of law you will specialize in did not even exist 20 years ago. And you enter the field of biological science at a turning point in the history of the human race. Of course she doesn't recognize you, for you are beyond her wildest dreams. My friends, in the graduating class, you and she, however, have much in common. Because 30 years from now, the society you will have created will no more resemble this one today than the world of 1968 resembles the world of 1998. 30 years ago, our country was in the midst of a sexual revolution. I started to take that line out. The tremble of patriotism under the weight of Vietnam, outrage and grief for Martin Luther King, but that was also a time naive to AIDS, a time before Terry Nichols, before the murder of American school children. Only 30 years ago, we could no more have imagined these enemies than we could have imagined some of our current allies. I would not have believed that our homeless population could reach these numbers with the turn of the century. I would also not have believed the Berlin Wall would come down, or the emergence of Iraq as a world threat, or the dissolution of the Soviet Union. And the scandals surrounding our White House today were clearly beyond even a fiction writer's fancy. There is that much more that we do not know waiting within the next 3 decades. In many ways, the world you're preparing for is not the world you will inhabit. That awareness can be a great tool, my friends. And in that sense, being prepared has never mattered more. There's a cynical old adage that it's not what you know, but who you know. And maybe today it's more about making the distinction between knowledge and information. Because information is here in staggering quantities, readily available to anyone with enough RAM, but knowledge requires the human touch of synthesizing facts and figures and making ethical and ambitious choices. Maybe in this era, it will be more about what you choose to do as well as what you know, about how to keep gaining wisdom from that flood of information. I suppose it's customary to address college graduates as if they were about to literally enter the world for the first time, but I say you're here, you've been here, and I congratulate you because you have already accomplished a significant feat, and once again I congratulate you for it. You have adjusted to and learned from and thrived in a society that you had very little to say in designing. But my friends, just imagine what you can achieve in that world which you will create. I'm sure you have very specific pictures of what you want your lives to look like. Most of you already have concrete plans that will carefully take you from here to there. And I believe most of you will succeed with those plans. I also believe that no matter what there will be so different from now, you can hardly imagine it. Throughout your lives, you will make decisions and choices that you cannot now anticipate. But fortunately, your education here and before this place has prepared you. But not only did you learn here at Charleston, you also honed the skill of learning. You did much more than adapt to college life. You learned how you will adapt to the 2,000 futures that await you. And you are prepared. You certainly don't need me to advise you or to motivate you, so I shouldn't bother suggesting, I suppose, that you also consider your responsibility as a public citizen, as a concerned citizen for the public good. And I must tell you that I think that perhaps you should consider some level of public service. Maybe not actively seeking office, maybe as simple as being involved in the elective process. But I must tell you, I count it one of the great achievements of my life and one of the great privileges that I've had that opportunity to be involved in politics. My friends, politics often has an unfortunate connotation. But politics is the way the American people express their desires and demands and dissent to the structures and engines of government. In a way, I believe that public service may be the most important secular undertaking in which a public-spirited citizen can engage. Now, my friends, I must tell you that as you make your choices, you must understand, as you surely do, that decisions have impacts, that words have far-reaching effect, and you should stay conscious, staying intentionally certain that you mean what you say and that you contemplate the responsibilities that go with your favored position in society. And I'm sure you will do that, for I have great confidence in the young men and women of this generation and our future. President Teddy Roosevelt spoke of a political career as living life in the arena, and that it is. Whether you view the arena as society's predominant playing field or as the stage for a three-ring circus, and sometimes it is both at the same time. It is a glorious and rewarding life, partly because it heightens awareness of your every action, your every thought. But in my opinion, all will be living in the arena in one way or the other. For every day of your lives you will vote, you will endorse, you will accept or decline nominations, you will represent others, you will lobby, you will talk, you will read, and you will think. And once again, as a privileged few, you will be speaking for many, certainly more than just yourself. While each of you is attaining personal goals and private victories, the society grows up around you will be the product of your group effort. It will be a society you must live in and live with, and its ability to protect the rights and freedoms of each individual will only be as strong as you have demanded. Good, bad, and indifferent, we have and you will shape it together. You will continue to do so as you go forward from this place. Now, my friends, in the graduating class, may I say that you are special and unique in so many ways. You are most certainly the best educated generation in the history of America. You are certainly the most aware of what goes on about us in this country and around the world. In many ways, you're the most participatory generation in history. You are doers. But my friends, even with those talents, that training and background, forgive me for saying you're barely good enough. Because the challenges before America and the world are so profound and so great that it will take your very best efforts, your best judgment, your intuition and insight to lead this country, and in so many ways the entire world, into the promise of the future. And I believe it is an extraordinary promise indeed. As a result of your talent and others who are joining you in graduation in this season, as a result of advances in science and technology, as well as the science of living together and public governance, I believe that America's time of greatness is still before her. And you, my friends, are the trustees of that promise, and I commend it to you. Thank you very much.
Today is, of course, a family affair, and I would like to recognize the love, patience, often sacrifice on behalf of families that went into making this grand occasion possible. Especially appropriate is that thanks to our mothers on this Mother's Day. An integral part of any commencement activities is the awards ceremony, which was held yesterday. I ask that each of the award recipients who are graduating today to stand so that we may acknowledge them and congratulate them again. Stand up. This year we have 6 perfect 4.0 GPA graduates. Will each of you please stand as I call your name? George Robert Davis, George Robert Adams in computer science, Bridget M. Barker in elementary education, Denny Joseph Farrell in history, Hans Grimm in physics, Michelle Marie Mills, the Bachelor of Science with dentistry degree, and Anja Ina Moore in German and Spanish. Congratulations to all of you. Now, as I never get tired of saying, the best thing about the College of Charleston is the faculty. Were it not for the faculty, we would not be here today, quite obviously. Were it not for the faculty, our students would not have gained the accomplishment in learning that they present to us today. So I would like to announce the recipients of this year's Faculty Distinguished Service Awards that were presented formally at the awards ceremony yesterday. Will each of you please stand as I call your name and remain standing until all the awards have been announced. The first faculty award presented at yesterday's ceremony was the Distinguished Professor Emeritus Award given to Dr. Edward Lawton of the School of Education. Dr. Lawton. That's an honorary rank awarded for outstanding tenure to a full professor at the college before the professor's retirement. Dr. Lawton was nominated for the title by his department in recognition of his exemplary performance as a teacher and his unusual distinction in the area of scholarly involvement, achievement, leadership, and service, not just to the college, but to the community Congratulations, Dr. Lawton. The Distinguished Advising Award is given each year to faculty members who have demonstrated a dedication to the students in that critical area of their success, advising. This year there have been 3 recipients of the Distinguished Advising Award: Dr. Susan Morrison, Professor of Biology; Dr. Christine Hope, Chair of the Department of Sociology and Anthropology; and Dr. Becky Herring, Professor of Accounting. Congratulations to each of them. The Distinguished Research Award is given each year to a member of the College of Charleston academic community in recognition of those outstanding qualities which typify the finest expression of scholarly inquiry and creative expression, and in recognition to that inextricable link that exists between sound teaching and sound research. This year's recipient is Dr. Danish Savante, Professor of Mathematics. Dr. Savante. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes a person chosen from nominations submitted from the entire college community for dedication and devotion to providing services to the students, the faculty, the alumni, the administration, the staff, and the surrounding community. The recipient of the award this year is one who has truly exemplified the spirit of giving of oneself completely to the service of others, indeed the highest calling of humankind. She has brought honor and respect to the institution. She is an inspiration to us all, and she is most deserving of this recognition. This year's recipient is Dr. Caroline Hunt, Professor of English. The Distinguished Teaching Award is awarded each year to a member of the College of Charleston faculty in recognition of those outstanding qualities which typify the finest expression of teaching. In an institution which has traditionally prided itself on excellence in teaching above all things, candidates for such an award are naturally numerous, and choosing one of them is most difficult. This year's recipient is Dr. Monica Janicus, Professor of Education. Let me add my own special thanks to all of you for the great service you have rendered to our college and to our students. Thank you. As I am sure many of you have seen, the class of 1988 made a very special gift to the college this year. Did I say 98? 98. 88's all washed up. 98. The president of the class of 1998 is, of course, Amy Sunshine. I will resist saying that she is our, and I will simply say that the class completed one of its most successful senior gifts ever to date and presented the college with the beautiful clock which is displayed at the corner of College and Greenway. The clock was especially constructed by the Van Bergen Company, who, like the College of Charleston, has been a part of Charleston for over 200 years. The class of 1998 expressed a desire to present the college with a gift that would enhance our beautiful campus as well as stand the test of time, so to speak. Allowing all of us to enjoy their gift throughout the years, their gift has definitely accomplished both of these goals. So congratulations to everybody who participated in the project. Thanks to the senior class for their gracious gift. Now at this time I present none other than Miss Amy Sunshine, President of the graduation class, who will make a statement on behalf of the senior class, followed by Mr. Michael Carducci, President of the Student Government Association, who will make a statement on behalf of the entire student body, the most magnificent representatives of our students. Ms. Sunshine first.
President Sanders, Board of Trustees, faculty, and distinguished guests. Time can be defined as a measured period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. We've been at the college during a great time of great change. We've seen the college grow into a university. We've received national recognition from the classrooms to the playing fields. We have new buildings to celebrate and a beautiful campus of which we can all be proud. Times have never been better here at the college. Unfortunately, we have seen some bad times with the loss of our friend, Laura Griffin. But through it all, we have endured, we have grown, and we have succeeded. And just as the rest of the world has its ups and downs, time marches on. To our grandparents, many of whom are with us today, time can be measured in decades. To our parents, time is measured in years. To us and our generation, time is not measured at all, it is now. Graduation is an important time, a time for fun, a time for goodbyes, and a time to make plans. It is a time of excitement and joy about the future, and a time mixed with anxiety and sadness about leaving the past behind. It is also a time to take stock of attitudes and direction in life. So fellow graduates, whether you're going to graduate school, entering the working world, or just going to wing it for a while, each of us knows what we must do. We have been given the opportunity to achieve. Now it is up to us to do so. The knowledge we have obtained here at the college is important, but what's really important is what we do with this wealth of information. Only time will tell. As time has been such a big portion in our life, we, the College of Charleston, class of 1998, have left behind a beautiful clock. Not just any clock, but the clock that can be seen out in front of the Wilson Satilli House. May it remind all the classes who follow just how late they are for class. And as we make our way in this world, we should remember that family should always occupy a central place in our life. When all the cheering stops and the spotlight dims, we need people in our lives who will love us and feel proud of us, and whom we can love and be proud of too. And as a personal aside, I would like to thank my parents, my grandparents, my brother, and my uncle for sharing this day with me. To my fellow college graduates, tonight, have fun, take care of yourselves, and enjoy your successes, because you deserve it. Tomorrow, get going, we are the future. And to the college and all the people that helped make this such a special college, let me quote one of my dad's favorite comedians, Bob Hope. Thanks for the memories.
SGA President, the much beloved Michael Carducci from Brooklyn, New York.
Thank you for that wonderful reception, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to begin by welcoming you all to our beautiful campus to celebrate this wonderful day. I would like to extend my sincerest congratulations to the class of 1998 and a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there in our audience. Today marks the end of a long journey for all of our graduates, but at the same time marks the beginning of something very special that some people in our world may never be lucky enough to experience. Through all of your hard work and dedication, you are finally ready to conquer the real world as a college graduate, a distinguished title to be very proud of. It is truly an honor to be here today addressing you from the same stage that my peers anxiously await their names to be called. However, if it was up to me, the stage would be extended to all four corners of the cistern, and we would honor everybody sitting here today. Although this is a celebration of years of hard work for all of the graduates, let's not forget about the families in our audience today, especially the parents. As I stand here before all of you, I cannot help but feel a strong sense of admiration towards all the parents out there. It seems so hard to imagine the first day here at the college, but I remember vividly saying goodbye to my family, and the reality set in, which I can describe in 2 words: freedom and party. I'm sure these 2 words are also embedded in every college student's vocabulary. However, as I look back on it, although the excitement of this new way of life was pretty intense, I felt that I lost a part of something that meant the world to me, the special bond between myself and my parents. I realize now on this day that this bond can never be broken no matter what happens. It continues through endless phone calls, parents' weekends, warm Christmas holidays, and ultimately to our graduation day. This bond was something of my heart, and these 4 years made it stronger than ever. As I close, I would like to say that without the family sitting out there, the dreams of these outstanding individuals might forever remain dreams. Thanks to all of you, hundreds of dreams are becoming a reality on this beautiful day. Speaking for the hundreds of graduates behind me, thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you. Thank you.
I now call again on Mr. Joel Smith, Chairman of the Board of Trustees and representing the state of South Carolina, to confer the diplomas. Dr. Conrad Festow, Provost, will assist.
Mr. President, upon the successful completion of all requirements and with the recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor to present the graduates of 1998.
Should have never given it back.
Assisting with the presentation of the bachelor's degrees will be Dr. Sue Summercrest, Vice President for Enrollment Management, Dr. Todd McNerney, Professor in the Theater Department, and Dr. Susan Catwinkle, Professor of Theater.
Assisting with the graduates from the School of the Arts will be Dean Edward McGuire. For the bachelor's degree in art history, joining us will be Dr. Diane C. Johnson, Chair of the department. Maria Elizabeth Costa. She also meets the requirements for a degree in studio art. Amy Eloise Crabtree, cum laude. Rupert Croker Poole. Elizabeth Jane Dawson. Nicole Lynn Dowell. Frances Green Hayes. Megan Lee Holtz. Tara Majeski. Leanne Mason. Cora Klein Peterson. Teresa Joanne Phelps. Tamara Marie Smithers. She also meets the requirement for a degree in studio art. Matthew Robert Stancic. Angela Parr Unser. For the bachelor's degree in arts management, joining us will be Professor Jerry Spencer, Director. William Seth Anderson. He also meets the requirements for communication. Mr. Anderson's diploma will be presented by his father, Mr. William A. Anderson, our registrar. Jessica Lauren Bobbitt. Jennifer Nicole Marshall. For the bachelor's degree in music, joining us will be Professor Steve Rosenberg, Chair of the department. John F. Daniel. Caitlin Shields Elder. Jordan Elizabeth Jasquich. She also meets the requirements for a degree in psychology, and she is a member of the honors program, magna cum laude. Catherine Elizabeth Jones. She also meets requirements for a degree in English, and she is also a graduate of the honors program. Tara Marie Killian, magna cum laude, and a graduate of the honors program. Patrick V. Merrow. He also meets the requirements for a degree in English. Carrie Elizabeth Nail. John Clayton Ross. Daniel James Stamp. Jennifer Lynn Tauser. For the bachelor's degree in theater, joining us will be Professor Joy Vandervoort Cobb, representing the department. Martha Caroline Agudelo. Kimberly S. Atkinson. She also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Anne Randall Ballart. Lydia Denise Banks. Saluda Cornegie Camp, magna cum laude. Kathleen C. Kerrigan. Kathleen is a graduate of the honors program. James Stacy Chalmers. Melissa Monica Dellis. Edwin Garcia II. Hillary E. Hacker. Carrie Ann Ludwat. Paul R. Rolfs. Lily Andrea Rossi. She also meets the requirements for a degree in sociology. Sarah Jane Shannon, cum laude. Shannon Patricia Sheely. For the bachelor's degree in studio art, joining us will be Professor Herb Parker, acting chair of the department. Tracy Altman. Bethany Lisa Black. Danielle Cather. Rachel R. Dantzler. David Anthony D'Antonio. Sarah Graham Estes. Sharon Josephine Garcia. Thomas Knight Happel IV. Kyle Bonta Leggett. Cameron Sims Mathis. Maureen Ellen McKeown. John Anthony Pino II. Annie Elizabeth Purvis, magna cum laude. She also meets the requirements for the BA in philosophy. Senth Vincent Rowe. Gregory William Schaefer. Elizabeth Ann Schrecker. Amy Elizabeth Schwartz. Alyssa Louise Shackle. Kara Ann Spitz. Ms. Spitz's diploma will be presented by her great-uncle, College of Charleston Board of Trustee member, Dr. Gordon Stein. Elizabeth Cabell Williams. Misty Amber Yates. Dion Laurel Young. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Business and Economics will be Dean Clarence M. Condon III. For the bachelor's degree in accounting, joining us will be Dr. Andrew Abrams, chair of the department. Carla Christina Bird. She also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Michelle Deanne Chesowski, cum laude, and she meets the requirements for the degree in business administration. Lindsay Marie Epley. Stephen Daniels Hunt. Andrew Michael Johnson. Jason Scott Kerr. Janice Elizabeth Matthews. Travis James McCory. George Brian O'Neill. Jennifer L. Sievertson. Jason A. Smith. Deidre Lee Wooten, cum laude. Allison Marie Turner. Joseph Michael Figuew. Alicia Diane Ward. For the bachelor's degree in business administration, joining us will be Dr. Rhonda Mack, chair of the department. Carter Elizabeth Andrews. Todd Crotus Archambault. Caroline Hughie Armstrong. Kravitas Bajoras, cum laude. Michael Z. Barber. Marissa Ann Barrett, cum laude. Denise Lynn Baumgartner. Matthew C. Barron. Christopher Patrick Bird. Monica Lee Blanton. Jack Books. Michael John Bardogna. Heather Van Bozard, cum laude. Judson Clark Brandt. Jimmy Edward Brannon. Yvette Ayana Broughton. Rebecca Esther Brumley. Joseph Benjamin Bullwinkle. Erica Yvette Bird. Paul Andrew Collender. Matthew James Campbell. Jonathan Earl Clark. Dominique Nicole Corbin, cum laude. Gina Louise Cogswell. Dorothea Blake Condon. John Curtis Conlon. Justin Edward Corbett. Robin M. Corden. Samuel Nathan Cox. Sean Michael Cunningham. Ashley Blair Davis. Scott Merritt Dawson. Rebecca Leah DeTore. Sandra Jean Doberstein. Kelly Ann Dorflinger. Rhonda Lynn Dobson. Mark Douglas DeBrolay. Maria Inez Dunlap. Derek T. Eager. Marika Minnie Egler. She also meets the requirements for a degree in German. Amy Catherine Erb. Gianluca Charles Fedolini. Howell Mark Fig. Aaron Laurel Flynn. Richard Shane Ford. James Geiger. Jonathan E. Klauser. James William Glover. Jennifer Ann Graham. Jennifer is also a graduate of our honors program. Catherine Robin Graham, and she also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Molly Ann Grant, cum laude. Jacqueline Celeste Green. Lorenza Shawana Green. Noah T. Grimble. Ashley Dean Gunnan. Brian Randall Hale. Martin Harper. Robert Ashley Hayner. Melody Hope Helms. Marianne Hargrave Horton. Melanie Jane Hauser. Gary Anthony Halton. Bejoy George Jacob. Jennifer L. Jenkins. Jonathan Scott Johnson. Gregory John Jones. Matthew Campbell Jordan. He also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Sean Michael Kennard. Sean Rome Knapp. Lawrence Ray Liggins. Alicia Ann Lemmer. Serena Lynn Limehouse. Katie Michelle Lindsay. Elizabeth Jean Likens. Joseph Blake McCall. Sean Daniel McCarthy. Justin R. McLean, who also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Edward A. Melton. Kathleen Angela Miner. Anastasia Leah Morris. Christopher Michael Morris. Margaret Teskey Morris. Tara Catherine Mulher, Trin Hong Nguyen, Andrea Lee Nutt, Christopher Michael Oman, Emily Potter, Daniel Frank Rentz III, Kendrick Hubbard Richmond III, John Rodas Rogers Jr., Christy Ann Ross, Joni Marie Roos, Erica K. Rowe, Terry E. Sam, William Patrick Santangelo, Joseph Spencer Schill, Heidi Ann Schwartz, Suzette Daniels Shaw, Eric Jonathan Smith, Robert Kevin Schuler, Sarah Jennings Shoemate, Tamara Nicole Sims. She also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Airly Slepsky, Dana Renee Smith, Heather Renee Stonebreaker, Frank Alfred Suggs, Jennifer Renee Thompson. She also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Louis Tick, Stacy Catherine Triplett, Nicole Christina Vandermaas, Jane Vanderwegen, magna cum laude, Josephine Ravel Bruman, Colin Noel Ward, Danielle Ward, Tiwana Deanna Williams, Caroline Michelle Young. For the bachelor's degree in economics, joining us will be Dr. J. Michael Morgan, chair of the department. Petros Nagusi Beaucre, Jonathan Mile DeWint, Kelly Suzanne O'Neill, James S. Terrace, John Alistair Ilvasaker. He also meets the requirements for the degree in history. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Education will be Dean Nancy Sorensen. For the bachelor's degree in elementary education, joining us will be Dr. Virginia Bartell, chair of the department. Melanie Marie Arts, Amanda Lou Austin, Leslie Mills Barzoni, Bridget Michelle Barker, summa cum laude, Stacy LaRae Beecham, Kimberly Dawn Beatty, Christina Lee Beatty, Jennifer Marie Bedrosian, Heather Elaine Bean, Lisa Marie Bennett, magna cum laude, Bradley Justin Benter, magna cum laude, Kelly Bethany Berry, Jennifer Lee Blanton, Carrie R. Blish, Julianne Gale Boyd, Kyle Scott Boyd, Jennifer Turner Brinson, Brian Barnum Broadshaw, Sharon Kathleen Buckeaster, magna cum laude, Ryan Jean Buggy, Carrie Shanae Cargill, James Chadwick Carruthers, Leslie Ann Carpenter, Heather Ann Carr, Jennifer Ann Chavez Miller, magna summa cum laude, Shannon Courtney Chestnut, Courtney Lee Coker, Eve Elizabeth Conroy, Barbara Jean Crincoli, magna cum laude, Amy Elizabeth Edwards. Elena Jolene Eisman. Carla Grandy. Allison Jane Gasper, cum laude. Monica M. Gao, cum laude. Letitia Marcia Gaiman. Sharon Lynn Gentry, magna cum laude. Yolanda C. Gibbs. Cecily L. Giddens Campbell. Emily Mason Gwynn. Anthony R. Halverson. Jean L. Hayes. Darren C. Herman. Tisha Darlene Howell. Jean Gifford Huber. Regina Mary Ingram. Farrakhan Miller James. Linda Marie Johnson. Lindsay Michelle Johnson. Julia Boyd Kennedy. James Bigham King. Michelle Victoria King. Alan Howard Kircher. Ellen Rachel Lefko. Angela Faye Lloyd Warren, cum laude. Esther Mosley Lowndes. Colleen Marie Madden. Carrie Ann McCoyle. Christine Marie McEwen. Sarah Ann Mitchell. Anne Marie Moore. Ashley Motley. Jennifer Lynn Nocella, magna cum laude. Jennifer Lee Norris, magna cum laude. Louise Nelson Pease. LaShara Montoya P. LaShonda Yvette Reed. Elizabeth L. Riley. Mindy Jan Rice. Lenora Gatch Rogers. Amy Rebecca Rush. Blakely Catherine Sanders. Jennifer Lynn Sanders. Josie Lynn Schwartz. Marissa May Sieber. Randy Lee Sheely. Karen Virginia Smith. Stacy Joy Smith. Michelle Stearns. Christopher Daniel Swetke. Michael John Tampa. Sarah Elizabeth Temple. Johanna Gray Thomas. Quantina L. Thomas. Jessica Livingston Trammell. Cara Marie Trez. Terry D. Williams. Kathleen A. Wolf, magna cum laude. Heather Marie Wojcik. For the bachelor's degree in special education, joining us will be Dr. Frances Wells, chair of the department. Tiffany Nicole Adams. Melinda Clarice Becker. Jennifer Denise Bowman. Julia Frances Boyd. Colleen Denise Brown. Kelly Christine Candler. Maura Carr. Era Moncoli, cum laude. Margot Jean Coyne. Joanne Viola Dwyer. Jennifer Ann Eberlin. Catherine Elizabeth Gant. Natalie Myers Garrison. Margaret Susan Gwen, cum laude. Jennifer Gauze Harrell. Amber Michelle Horton. Amy Shepard Jenkins. Julie Elaine Johnson. Deborah Renee Clowas. James Patrick Levitsky. Catherine Ange Lupo, cum laude. Shannon Bridget McCanner. Jennifer Michelle Nicodine, magna cum laude. Catherine Haygood Owens, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Michelle Pearson. Jane Ellen Reeves. Leela Clore Reynolds. Kelly Ann Scheel. Susan Stinchcombe Siegler, magna cum laude. Leslie Elizabeth Sellers. Skylar Margaret Shand. Marion Lee Shuping. Latonya Smalls. Katie Elizabeth Stapleton. Amy Marlene Tessler. Sharon Laverne Wade. Christine Adele Willis. Erica Lee Wallum. For the bachelor's degree in physical education and health, joining us will be Dr. Andrew Lewis, chair of the department. Bridget Deshay Anderson. Amy Lisa Baker. Julie Elizabeth Barber. Melinda Elizabeth Brodsky. Mark Andrew Brandenberger, magna cum laude. Rebecca Jane Bosold. Elizabeth Kathleen Burnett. Stephen Craig Campbell. Kelly Ann Collins. Melissa Margreta Curran. Amanda Elizabeth Haley. Barbara Teresa Hall. Jameson Drake Holforty. Erin Elizabeth Jacques. Frances April Jones. Summer Lee Jacques. Reggie Kyle King. Aaron Thomas Marley. Allison Michelle McCurry. Kate Maureen Metzger. Megan Aileen Morrison. Jessica Lee Newton. Mark Stevens Noble. Richard Boyd Paget. Natalie Noel Payne. Shelby Denise Petrucelli. Caroline Elizabeth Sanders. Kevin D. Sile. Christy Nicole Shelley. Jamie R. Smith. Abigail Jordan Underwood. Jennifer Carrison Waite. Damon Craig Whitfield. Tessa Michelle Wood. John Michelle Yance.
Assisting with the graduates from the School of Humanities and Social Science will be Dean Samuel M. Hines, Jr. For the bachelor's degree in anthropology, joining us will be Dr. Christine Hope, chair of the department. Andrew Aga. Matthew Thomas Bosworth. Genevieve Elizabeth Brown. Leslie Ann Bunn. Amy Lynn Carter, magna cum laude. Kimberly K. Carter, magna cum laude. James Andrew Cato. Chantal Michelle Cholet. Allison Cleveland. Holly Aaron Coppage. Roman Crumpton. Amy L. Deco, Sarah Moore Edson, Pauline Jean Fleming, Erin Kathleen Foley, cum laude, Elizabeth Wilcox Garrett, Nicole Michelle Herring, Mary Jane Hickson Jones, cum laude, Kelly Edwards Jones, Linda Jean Coster, Michelle Lynn Lauer, Karen Nicole Myers, Heather Ishelle Olson, Jason Joseph Sessoms. He also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Jack Lee Stallnacher, William Matthew Tankersley, Eric James Trickett, Tony Lynn White, cum laude, Michael Sherwood Whittle. For the bachelor's degree in communication, joining us will be Dr. Nan Morrison, chair of the department. Chandra Roanne Adams, Sarah Jane Adams, John Alessi. He also meets the requirements for a degree in studio art. Jenny K. Anderson, who also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. R. Wells Anderson, Michael M. Bailey, Robert Ronald Baker Jr., Kelly Lynn Barfield, Jennifer M. Barnes, Amelia Lauren Bolin, cum laude, Corby M. Bolweg, Mary Ashton Brown, William David Brown, Sarah Middleton Buckley, Kathy Lee Bullitt, Thomas Christopher Caraway, Lisa Leary Cannon, Edward William Catalano III, Anna Griffin Chandler, Erin Elizabeth Chapelier, Rebecca Price Clark, Laura Diane Cochran, Michael Francis Condon, Ryan Douglas Conley, Mandy Lynn Deneau, Big Dan Elliott Dewaskin, Clifton Coleman, Megan Elizabeth Donahue, Yasmin Eldrubi, Melissa Robin Epps, Alyssa Mary Esposito, Dawn Nita Farabee, Heather M. Fuox, Caroline Persons Fox, Tapley Campbell Garrison, Jasmine I. Germain. Jasmine is also a graduate of the honors program and cum laude. Tangela Deshawn Gibbs, Colleen Marie Gluba, JC Ann Godfrey, who also meets the requirements for a degree in arts management, Kelly Ann Golden, Megan Annette Habus, Susan Leffingwell Hamilton, Barry Christina Louise Hines, Kevin Wayne Hinson, Elizabeth Paulette Hobbs, Beth Ann Holtzclaw, Melissa Ann Hyams, Michael Charles Ireland, Lisa Ann Jackson, Jennifer Fontaine James, Julie Ann Johnson, Daniel A. Kendall, Kenya Riddick King, Jerome Carl Klein, Catherine Marie Krause, Kathleen Elizabeth Lowry, Molly Elizabeth McBride, Stuart Miles McInerney. He also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Priscilla Kenley McCoy, Michelle Glee Magram, Christopher Jamel Major, Matthew Wesley Martino, David Russ Mason, Carolyn Ashley Miller, Scott Matthew Miller, Nancy Elizabeth Neal, Allison Melissa O'Connell, Thomas William Oliver, Nicholas Angelo Pappas, Wendy Lynette Peebles, Melanie Dawn Palouse, Brian Keith Perucci, Leslie R. Player, Sarah Ray Plinska, Ann Witten Potts, Amy Lynn Piles, Cullen Elizabeth Qualls, Rebecca Elizabeth Rhodes, Kelly Leanne Rice, Melinda Jane Rose, magna cum laude, John Nicholas Roskally, Robert Christopher Rumsey, Mary Ann de la Cruz Salvatierra, Therese M. Salyers, Kimberly Grace Sowers, Mark Schuyler, Graham Edwin Schuyler, Tina Louise Sherino, Tracy Lee Shaw, Scott Derek Sheely, Cheryl Denise Seitler, Heather Marie Simmons, Mario Sidney Sipos, Carolyn Kingsland Spencer, Mary Ryan Stanley, Ann Murphy Taylor, Scott Michael Taylor, Jane Van Pinkston, Keenan Stewart Walker, Melanie Lee Watson, Michael Patrick Welline, Tiffany Renee Wells, Wendy Marie Wilkinson, Stephanie Roxanne Williams, Laura Jane Willoughby, Natalie Hayes Woodbury, for the bachelor's degree in English, Jamie Alexander Atkins, Carol Minton Baker, Sarah Elizabeth Barrett, Jessica Spring Bentley, Stephen Barrett Blackwell, Eric Michael Bray, Sally Elizabeth Kappelman, Mary Elizabeth Chambliss, Tamara B. Cole, Ashley Elizabeth Ennis, who also meets the requirements for a degree in philosophy, Holly Elizabeth Faulkner, Miranda Elaine Green, Elizabeth Beckham Garrard, Eric Wayne Hansel, who also meets the requirements for a degree in Spanish. Eric is a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Valerie Harper, Jennifer L. Head, who also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Michael J. Haggerty, Alanya F. Jenkins, Martha Kent Jenkinson, Denise White Johnson, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Maria Keeler, Daniel Eric Knight, Rachel Marie Lale, Megan Elizabeth Lawson, Corinne Carol Levenway, magna cum laude. Jonathan Paul Manis, Elise Merritt McPherson, magna cum laude. Dennis Ray Murphy, Susan Carolyn Murray, who also meets the requirements for a degree in art history and studio art. J.P. Pagan, Christopher B. Peary, cum laude. Melissa Helms Pierce, cum laude. Sherry Ann Porubsky, Claire Marie Rauschenberg, who also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. David Barrett Ritter. David is also a graduate of the honors program. Sally Sanders, cum laude. Amy Carolyn Simonson, Melanie Lee Smythe, Charles Monroe Sprinkle, Rebecca S. Stallcup, Cindy Michelle Stout, James T. Trotter, Melissa Rochelle Tucker, Heather C. Valentine, Bridget Veronica Van Martyr, Ashley Marie Vincent, magna cum laude, Catherine Moore White, who also meets the requirements for a degree in philosophy, For the bachelor's degree in history, joining us will be Dr. George Hopkins, chair of the department. Michael Joseph Ayrn. Era A. Allison Arrington. Tyler James Ashmore Benson. Amanda Carol Bentley. Antonio Bevilagua. Catherine Elizabeth Binney, who also meets the requirements for a degree in political science, magna cum laude. C. Brandon Blankenship. Kyle Harlan Bowman. Jennifer Lee Brennan. Margot Tyler Brossi. James Stevens Calvert. Rebecca Summer Carlisle. Douglas Christensen. Brian David Cook. Christy Ann Curtis, cum laude. Aaron Thomas England. Denny Joseph Farrell, summa cum laude. Carrie Dar Finnegan. Gregory Michael Galvin. Dorothy Walton George. Jennifer Diane Hardison. Winston Craig Helms. Wanda Natalie Hoffman. Karen Marie Highland. Suzanne Jennifer Kemple. LaShondra Tennell Kennedy. Jeffrey Crawford Lynn. Gregory Patrick Martin. Mary Ann McInnes. John Roland Mims. Nicole Danielle Pruitt. Jeffrey D. Ray, who also meets the requirements for a degree in psychology. April L. Richardson. Julie Rossi. James McAnally Schnell, Jr. David Austin Cease. John Hamilton Smith, cum laude. Mr. Smith's diploma will be presented by his father, John Hamilton Smith, Sr. Monica Nicole Spells. Stacy Ray Stellenbarger. Anna Cooper Taylor. For the bachelor's degree in French, joining us will be Dr. Jeffrey Foster, chair of the department. Carolyn Elizabeth Bradburn. Christine Ann Clay. Tara Beth Cohen. Angela Race Drake. Whitney L. Hodges. Christine Elizabeth Holly. Christopher A. Kilgore. Jennifer Elaine Moore. Emily Elizabeth Owen. Cynthia Lynn Rayburn. Jennifer Sunshine Smith. For the bachelor's degree in German, joining us will be Dr. Frank Morris, chair of the department. Suzanne Taylor Graham, who also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Elizabeth G. Moser, who also meets the requirements for a degree in philosophy, cum laude. Colleen Harriet Thompson. For the bachelor's degree in Spanish, joining us will be Dr. Herbert Espinoza, chair of the department. Susan Lee Benfield Anton. Tiffany Camille Barnes, magna cum laude. Catherine Courtney Cunningham. Jody Bronson Duckworth. Michael Christopher Ford, who also meets the requirements for a degree in political science. Francis Garcia. Jeremy Ryan Gillum. Scott Erickson Gillum. Allie Harrell Grayson. Shanna C. Grice. Michael Bernard Hartnett, who also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Cynthia C. Haynes, who also meets the requirements for a degree in English. Chanda Suzanne Hughes. Christine Lynn Hunt. Eleanor Jennings Kempson. Jennings is also a graduate of the honors program. Stephen Eric Marzuki. Maria Amalia T. McDonald, cum laude. Laura Ware Moody. Anya Ina Moore, who also meets the requirements for a degree in German, summa cum laude. Seth David Morrison. Gregory John Clay Pachuta. Kimberly Butterfly Rudd, who also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. She is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Ms. Rudd's diploma will be presented by her father, Dr. Howard Rudd. Johnny Julia Wang. Joseph Cedric Wolfe III.
For the bachelor's degree in philosophy, joining us will be Dr. Richard Noonan, acting chair of the department. Christopher O'Neill Frazier. Luther Hayward Frost. Elizabeth Hammond Gambrell. Michael S. Gambrell also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Kimby Lee Glenn. Hunter Chase Harbin. Michael Stephen McCormick. Lisa Ann Mercurio. Christopher D. Millspaw. Nancy Faith Mitchum Struthers also meets the requirements for a degree in fine arts. Elizabeth Claire Exodus. For the bachelor's degree in political science, joining us will be Dr. Frank Petrusek, chair of the department. J. Patrick Aldia also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Amy Morgan Anderson also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Laura Lee Bundrick also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Deanna L. Birch. Joanna Jo Burke. Catherine Bernadette Carroll also meets the requirements for a degree in sociology. David Joseph Carter. Leslie Christine Clark. Melissa Ann Corradetti. Brock Young Dantzler. Heather De Los Santos, cum laude. Melody Joy Edelman also meets the requirements for a degree in communication, magna cum laude. Philip Thomas Edwards. Stephen M. Everett. Anthony A. Fasulo also meets the requirements for a degree in Spanish. Shannon Tate Foster. Katie Marie Franklin. Elizabeth Rosanna Fromholtz. Samantha Alexandria Jenis. Chad J. Higgins. Dawn Michaelyn Hill. William Howard Jr. Anne Boleyn Hughes. Edmund Michael LaFrance. Shane Willoughby McNicholas. Cynthia Trace Masters. Miss Masters' diploma will be presented by her uncle, College of Charleston Board of Trustees member Chip Maloney. Carter Carlson McCoy also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Stefan Dimitrik Mickler. Tamara Inez Mills Niles. April Jeanette Moore. Linda Love Nance. Sheely Venus Nipper. Shay Rhoda Rabin. Carl Jason Reynolds. Dabney P. Roversi also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Kathleen Marie Ryan. Todd Spignardo. Claire Stark. Dennis Ray Turner. Mark John Vaddis also meets the requirements for a degree in sociology. Rebecca Dawn Williams. For the bachelor's degree in psychology, joining us will be Dr. Charles Kaiser, chair of the department. Jennifer Lynn Burkus, summa cum laude. Shelley Rebecca Bond. Shelley is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Rebecca Ann Boyd. Barbara Michelle Birch. Barbara is also a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Danner Can. Lori A. Clemens. Jonathan Michael Colarusso. Judith Hawes Correll. Angela Kristen Crosby. Thomas Kevin Croxton. Leslie Faye Culbertson. Natalia Marie Davila. Anne Helen Dean. Dana Renee DeWitt. Jennifer Ann DeGaulle. Jennifer Christina Dulles, magna cum laude. William Patrick Donahue. Alice Nanette DeBose. Gina Carol Eccles. Mary Herndon Evans. Mrs. Evans' diploma will be presented by her uncle, College of Charleston Board of Trustees member Philip Bell, cum laude. Dorothy Edwina Forrest. Jessica Lewis Gill. Derek Matthew Gomez. Mary Thiedke Grady. Ashley Jonathan Greer. Catherine Elizabeth Greco. Lindsay Adrian Griffith. Danny Rachel Grinlinger. Danny is also a graduate of the honors program. Sarah Elizabeth Hampshire. Elizabeth Adele Hanna. Christine Marie Hartchie. Charlotte Heaver. Mark Anthony Himes. Anne Elizabeth Howell. Philip Lawrence Hull. Robert Misha Jan. Christine Lee Knudsen. Travis Philip Landreth. Veronica Larkins Mancy. Amy Danielle LaRusso. Casey Ann London. Josie Miranda Looper. Rebecca Maria Maestas. Kenetra Moneta Martin also meets the requirements for a degree in sociology, cum laude. Sherry E. Nelson. Patricia K. Niedermeyer. Michelle Lynn O'Quinn, magna cum laude. Susan Denise Owens, cum laude. Michael C. Pickering. Richard Dwight Porche. Marina Stephanie Pounders. Lorraine Ridgway, magna cum laude. Chien Suzanne Robinson, cum laude. Summer Terrace Rogers also meets the requirements for a degree in philosophy. Sarah T. Ashley Rudder. Danielle Elizabeth Schweikert. Britton Kathleen Scott. Mindy Dawn Scott. Mirelle Ann Sinswat. Sarah Smith, cum laude. Rachel Doyle Stallsmith. Renee Shannon Stelling. Shelley Strasberg. Kimberly Jean Swan. Lang C. Chivas Tarrant. J. Shannon Weldy. Andrea Maria Wilson. Mary Catherine Wright, magna cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in religious studies, joining us will be Dr. Richard Noonan, acting chair of the department. Lisa Christine Ahrens. Earthy Gaskins, Jr. For the bachelor's degree in sociology, joining us will be Dr. Christine Hope, chair of the department. Paige Lee Baker. Irene Richards Bennett. Derek Adrian Braddock. Jennifer Lynn Brookshire. Anthony Jerome Brown. Harriet Carson Bruce. Jesse Garrett Cadman. Lisa Carol Carter. Lorne Mark Chambers. Martha Shannon Compton. Terry Janice Crawford. Vicki Lynn Davis. Margaret Eve Dean. Krista Marie DiBasquale. Kimberly Elizabeth Dixon. Latonya Felicia Douglas. Gladys Marie Drayton. Claire Elizabeth Espinoza. Ms. Espinoza's diploma will be presented by her mother, Dr. Dana Espinoza. David Arnold Green. Holly Noel Griffith also meets the requirements for a degree in psychology. Randy Martin Guarneri. Suzanne Rachel Hawkins. Crystal Ann Henry, cum laude. Cecilia Cope Johnston. Calix Nakia Jones. Stephen A. Curry. Kathleen Michelle Lengel. Elizabeth Wright Luther. Shara Krista Manley. Courtney Elizabeth McMillan. Ray Hamilton Morrison. Sandra Diane Nelson. Lauren Adele O'Connell, Holly Ann Osborne Chivers, Christine Virginia Reese, Janice Ann Rigonen, Jill Catherine Rogers, Jonathan Christian Seaver, Julie Catherine Sudik, Olivia Blair Summers, Michael Henry Tanner, Mary Patricia Thomason, Melissa Lauren Tidwell, Kristen Lee Magerno, James Taylor Weatherford, Daniel Lee Vieira, Sarah Rebecca Weiner, Tamerlane C. Witt. For the bachelor's degree in urban studies, joining us will be Dr. Jane McCullough, director, Jennifer Annette Sgro, Tamika Antonique White. Assisting with graduates from the School of Science and Mathematics will be Dean Gordon Jones. For the bachelor's degree in biology, joining us will be Dr. Michael Auerbach, chair of the department. Kashana M. Atkins, Elizabeth Dawn Allen, April Janelle Angel, cum laude, Lindsay Lee Avery, Stephanie Dawn Barrow, Harper Elizabeth Beck, William T. Boyno, Sharon Nicole Brantley, Ashley Layden Britt, Sharon Lee Brock, Natiska Charlone Brown also meets the requirements for a degree in sociology. Allison Renee Campbell, Cody Garrett Carpenter, magna cum laude, Caroline Lewis Carson, Heather Elizabeth Cochran, English Felder Coleman, Thomas Schuyler Cowan, Ben Presley Cox, Jason Edward Davis also meets the requirements for a degree in anthropology. Jason is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Katrina Eva Deemer, Michael Benjamin Dose, Kelly Greenwood Edwards, Shane Anthony Edwards, Genevieve Elise Ernie, Emmeline June Estrada cum laude, Christine Elizabeth Evans, Stacy Michelle Fender, Brian Lee Fitzpatrick, Rebecca Jane Ford, Carissa Ruth Foster, Leslie Jean Fox, Charlene Gail France, Christopher Michael Freeman, cum laude, Aaron Kerrigan Folgham, Georgina Dawn Gainey. Georgina is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Jennifer Marie Gavin, Shannon Melissa Gertzen, Jennifer Lynn Heyman, Samantha E. Hayden, Wayman Wright Henry III, Terry Lynn Heslin, Louis Bassam Hillel, Dorothy Marie Hoffman, magna cum laude, Angela Hollenbeck, Justin Wesley Hughes, Stephanie A. Huto, Renee Nadine Iwanski, cum laude, Umberto Izquierdo, Edward Montgomery Johnson, Tiffany Gale Jones, Nichelle Lee Kelly, cum laude, Nicole Lee Kelly, cum laude, Karen L. Kim Brinson, Joelle Dorian Niter, Mary Catherine Nisley, magna cum laude, Ginger Laurie Knox, Scott Stephen Lloyd. Scott is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Allison Ann Lynch, Tanya Melissa Mahanes, Farah Dawn Masters, Carrie Elizabeth Mayer, Lauren R. McKellian, Jamie Lynn Midoff, Heather Merritt Fan, Amy Marie Metger, Michelle Ann Metz, Amy L. Middleton, Marianne Elizabeth Mitchell, John Michael Morgan IV, Sarah Catherine Moss, Michael Patrick Murfin, James Vernon Myers III, cum laude, Elizabeth Page Nance, Hong Nguyen, Nicholas C. Oliver, Daniel Pacheco. Daniel is also a graduate of the honors program. Wu Yen Tu Pham, Mark Eric Quinn, Kenneth Britt Reagan, Stephen Nicholas Royland. Stephen is also a graduate of the honors program. Wendell Mauricio Espinal Rios, Lindsay Aaron Robertson, Brandy Renee Robinson, cum laude, Emily Christine Ryan, Anna Catherine Rye, cum laude, Jessica Lynn Sabatine, Laura Ann Schrum. Laura is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Cheryl S. Sine also meets the requirements for a degree in psychology. Cheryl is a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Benita Smart, Daniel Derek Smith, Jimmy Lee Smith Jr., Tonya Quinique Squirrell, Mark Storm, Amy Jill Sunshine, Chad Alexander Thomas, James H. Thomas III, Jennifer Ann Thomas, Heather Michelle Tripp, Nancy Amanda Watson, Lisa Elizabeth Wheeler, Paul Austin Whitlock III, magna cum laude, Angela Renee Williams, summa cum laude, Patrick Thomas Wilson. Patrick is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Sonia Yi, for the bachelor's degree in marine biology. Rachel Suzanne Beard, Jana Kathleen Davis, Robert Jason DeVries, Kyle Courtney Dick, Brenda K. Dienst, Angela D. Fitzgerald, Laura Jean Flynn. Laura is also a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Aaron Dewey Bell Galub, Eric Russell Guyton, Kelly Ann Hagan, Amanda K. Hill, Kelly Renee James, Kristen Helene Cortez, Shayna Marie Phelan, Jennifer Helen Plexico, Samantha Lucille Ryan, magna cum laude, Daniela Elizabeth Sartorio, Ryan David Stolmeyer. Ryan is also a graduate of the honors program. Heather Marie Tinsman also meets the requirements for religious studies. Robert Lee Waldrop III, Julia Ann Watkins, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in biochemistry, joining us will be Dr. James Deaver, chair of the department. Graduates receiving a degree in biochemistry also meet the requirements for chemistry. Karen Coy Elaine Baker, magna cum laude. Heather Sue Brown. Heather is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Susan Michelle Curran, cum laude. Caroline April Evangelista. Caroline is also a graduate of the honors program. Heather Ann Ferris. Heather is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Connellan Faye Gutierrez Handog. Aaron Michael Hurley. Aaron is also a graduate of the honors program. Jody Lynn Kohut. Jody is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Susan Liu. Lisa Renee Miles. Shane Robert Mull, cum laude. Brandy Reynolds Newsom. Brandy is also a graduate of the honors program, summa cum laude. Caroline Ann Pruitt, cum laude. Lori Robertson. David Lawrence Smith. For the bachelor's degree in chemistry, Jill Elizabeth Butler, cum laude. Michael Robert Muskell. Jennifer Lynn Roberts. David Phillips Watkins. For the bachelor's degree in computer information systems, joining us will be Dr. Christopher Starr, chair of the department. Catherine Lee Breezer. For the bachelor's degree in computer science, Paul Henry Cahoon, Christopher Michael Dufala, David L. Harp, Victoria Lynn Smith, William Hansel Turkett. William is also a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Gil Christian Vandervoort. For the bachelor's degree in geology, joining us will be Dr. Michael Katuna, chair of the department. Gwendolyn Von Lee Burns, Terrence W. Clare, James Travis Darden, David A. Dellenbach, Ann Brown Harris, Marlo Long, also meets the requirements for a degree in marine biology. Sean Patrick Malley, William C. McClary, Colleen M. Mooney, Matthew Kyle Quinn, Eric Shane Roden, Andrea Dean Rogers, Amanda Greer Simpson, magna cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in mathematics, joining us will be Dr. Dina Cavaney, chair of the department. Dawn Latissa Daniels, Jennifer Howell Fisher, Marjorie E. Hardman, Shelley L. Harwell, Mana Ray Hopkins, Andrea Pamela Osborne, Tashawnka Thomas, Mark W. Weaver. For the bachelor's degree in physics, joining us will be Dr. Robert Dukes, chair of the department, Jeffrey Scott Blair, Charles D. Cockcroft, Haynes Grime, summa cum laude, Tiffany Nicole Hayes, Sharon E. Johnson, Jennifer L. Jordan, Deborah Seil, Robert Glenn Smith, Jr. For the bachelor's degree of science with dentistry, Michelle Marie Mills, summa cum laude. Ms. Mills completed both 93 semester hours at the College of Charleston and her prerequisite requirements for a degree in dentistry at the Medical University of South Carolina.
Not quite. Not quite. Okay, now everybody stand up. It's not official yet. Everybody stand up. Everybody standing up? By the authority granted to me by the College of Charleston Board of Trustees, the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Sciences earned has been conferred upon these candidates. And now, will the audience remain standing? The graduates can sit down while I confer the degree of Audium Baccalaureus. That's the degree in the classical tradition of ancient Greek and Latin, a degree awarded for more than 2 centuries by the College of Charleston. That grand tradition continues today in the person of Daniel Elliott DeWaskin, a communications major. Will he please stand? Now, as a part of that 2-century tradition, the audience is required to stand, and the president is required to read the degree in Latin. That is a tradition designed to humiliate the president, as well as honor the graduate. Curatoribus articum ta tinum tribu on ta trusbus hayavan valians in humanas dioris lataris tri prae claia ria o rio di thros ad gradum ad tium baccalaria totus a missa. Before we depart, you may be seated. There's some very important people we must recognize As a matter of fact, without them, the ceremony today would not have been possible. At least it would not have been possible here in the face of the great uncertainty we faced 2.5 hours ago. They are the College of Charleston physical plant employees under the direction of Jim Shoemate, Director of the Physical Plant, Ellis Simmons, Herbert Frazier, and Doug McKelvey. I also recognize the college's Media and Technology Department under the direction of Virginia Freeman, Tim Fennell, and Roy Snipe. The physical plant works a major miracle every year to enlarge this system to accommodate the largest graduating class in the history of the college. Media and Technology has made sure everybody within 5 blocks can hear it. Finally, I'd like to thank our Public Safety Department, who has made the ceremony orderly and therefore possible. A few announcements. The Zeta Gamma chapter of Chi Omega invites you to attend the reception for our graduates and their families to be held at the President's House, 6 Glebe Street, immediately following the exercises. The audience is requested to remain in place until the recessional is complete. Our graduates are requested to continue the procession down Glebe Street to meet their families and friends outside the Student Center in order to avoid congestion here at the gate. Finally, a word of farewell. Is there any doubt about the fact that God loves the College of Charleston? I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting it. So we who have been your teachers have taught you all we know. We await with pride and hope the unfolding of your dreams, the achievement of your goals, the emergence of your vision. Now, I'm not going to give you the cliche of every graduation ceremony by every president in those 3,000 colleges and universities across America. I'm not going to tell you the future is yours. The future is not a gift of mine to give. It has to be earned. If you have your feet firmly planted on level ground, if you face the future supremely confident that you know all the answers, the College of Charleston has failed you, because the future doesn't belong to those who are self-satisfied or content with today, nor does it belong to those who have forgotten tomorrow. We are becoming a part of your tomorrow. We hope you will remember us as we will remember you, and we hope you will remember to teach us as we once taught you. And if you live a long, long life and still believe that the sun gilds your path with real gold and the moon and stars float in real silver, then remembering the purple shadows of the system, the colonnade of Randolph Hall, the dreams of your youth, you may always say with reverence, pride, and appreciation, on the 10th day of May, Mother's Day, 1998, I received the honor of honors. I graduated from the College of Charleston.